Well, one thank God we are on live on Facebook, YouTube, community engagement page, and those of us who are here, you're welcome wherever you come from, wherever you are watching from. We're here today talking about human trafficking, and let us begin to as we wait for our guests. As we wait for our guests, as we wait for our guests. Wherever you're watching from, thank God that we talk about human trafficking. That is this month, the month of January, is the month of awareness to prevent human trafficking. And today we have guests. As we await our guests, and we know we are time conscious. And I want to say, those of us who are watching, wherever you are, probably um, when you talk about human rights, it's not optional. And when you look at those optional protocols, when you look at the convention on the rights of the child, the conventions on the rights of women's rights, the DIVA, the SIVA, then all the different conventions, documents, the fact and our motto is that human rights is not optional. The Community Engagement Global Mission believe that everyone has the right to live, and when you go back in life of religious tolerance, when it comes to the Article 18 and 1920, we talk about rights to public assembly, and you can just name all the different uh, articles, but it is there's no option. It's not optional. That well, when we say our motto, when we say it's not human rights, it's not optional. It means you don't have a choice. You don't have a choice. The person who I the one probably who try to maybe stop or prevent human right don't have a choice. So as we talk about this issue today, I want us to be very attentive because if you look at the statistic, 27.6 million are tracked in human trafficking worldwide. And well, the number is not just predicted, but if you look and see from your own statistic and probably some of the things that you taught, we look at the agricultural sector, we look at some of those sectors that are actually you can see it's prevalent, and well, you can also see that well in some communities you can see it, you can see people acting, you can see that things are not going the way other people expect it to go. But again, human rights, if we look at the law, if we look at the fact that it's not optional, and we look at the violation of those rights, then of course sometimes we want to have some talk about it. And well, I'll tell you that the fact that it's not optional, people take advantage of it because it either gave them money, it helped people to succeed. Sometimes it helps some of the victim. The reason why in developing countries, especially in the United States, that's why they have so much focus on trafficking, because if not all of us, all people that entered America, people enter because of probably green pasture, and they want to find a peace. They want to find security. So sometimes people use that probably avenue to push them into something that they never thought they would have been in. So the whole thing about human rights and the rule of law is when you come in conflict with the rule of law and you look at the overall population in your country and see how your country is being guided by the world, by the fact that, you know, trafficking of people from different walks of life, you can see it's not just evidence. It's prevalent. That means you can see it. It's not something that you can dispel. The next thing, when we're looking at trafficking, why we are with our guests, because we are time conscious, and we say, well, we want to say to all of us as we continue to wait, we want you to understand that the community engagement is about engaging people, talking about collaborating together to bring this awareness. And we said this month is the month of awareness against human trafficking, that is trafficking in person. So when you look at the different protocols and the things that affects the person, or different disadvantage and advantages are there. Like you say, probably somebody want to come to America, then they're finding a way to, but there's no way people take advantage of that. If we have more than trafficking, and oh, I can take you there and I can find a job for you when you get there, but you need to pay XYZ. Sometimes, they organize, it's organized crime. So you don't see, sometimes you don't even know it, because why? Because it's professional. People do it professionally. People that traffic, you can see them on the bus, you can see them on the train. Well, they sign, you can see, well, sometimes they are size, sometimes they don't talk to nobody. And there are a lot of different signs. Sometimes they are lively, but they don't know where they're going. A father was saying they were told they were going to free school, or probably partials, college education, or scholarship, or different things that comes. Like we said, it has its negative and it has its positive. So no matter what, probably is it's all about uh, you know getting into it, knowing that it is the way out, it is the best way we can find, the solution to it. And no matter what, the thing is, once you as a person understand what is trafficking, the human rights organization or civil society has so far track, go do research, and some of us know that, and it's a problem in the world, and the world is going to continue to face, because the law were made to regulate. But how do we regulate in the laws? And if you give me the time of 2 hours, I'm going to talk and to bring you some good things, but it's just limited to to my talk until we can have our guests coming in. I understand that, especially when it comes to the agricultural sector, we have people who probably might not understand that they are caught up into probably something, and they're going short with manpower and no manpower. So, well, they got to traffic people sometime. Well, they might not traffic them illegally, they might come legally, or probably in some way in some countries. But again, it has to do with, when we talk about modern trafficking, some of the trafficking we talk about, you cannot see it, you cannot really experience it. You think, when you look at the people, you're not going to say, well, they are being trafficked. Okay, so as we discussed today, we can prevent trafficking. In fact, the role of civil society, the role of duty bearers and right holders. Right holders, we could be called duty bearers or right holders. We have the right, but what are some of the bounds, problem. Where should we stop? What we shouldn't do and what we should do, even though we have the right, but we have the responsibility. So duty bearers has the right, I mean the authority, probably to make sure to keep the peace, to make sure the economic situation in our country, Liberia or whatever country in the world, is stable. Okay, probably except that like we are experiencing the whole world, okay, hit by economic constraint, so rising of prices and stuff. But again, economic constraint has an impact, domestic violence has an impact, and we can talk about human trafficking in different ways. But when we begin to look at the impact, the root causes of human trafficking, it comes from, we're talking about low income, low unemployment rate is high, and economic constraint in the country. Probably people don't want to stay around because no job. They want to find somewhere where they can make money to have their family. So why they're trying to search, if you look at the 27.6 million, as we look at the data, and you begin to look at that number and ask yourself, what would be the number in Liberia? What would be the number in Ghana? What would be the number in Guinea? What would be the number in Sierra Leone? And you can say, what would be the number in Nigeria? We just listen to the awful of people coming to the border and see how they're coming in, right? Uh, they could be trafficked. Why? Because they're vulnerable. So trafficking also happen when people are vulnerable. Well, to be vulnerable means you just no security. You just can be caught up any time and come, let's go, because you are lonely. Probably your spouse or your husband beat at you, and you try to leave the house. So you are lonely, and so it also has to do with loneliness. So when someone is lonely, they can feel isolated, and so they want to find themselves somewhere. Okay, so again, I just have the thought of this whole thing when it comes to the agricultural sector, and I'm invited. I'll be, she's going to be understanding, and I hope that she's going to be coming in. But again, in the agriculture sector, we can do your statistics, and we're going to be coming up with more statistics. The awareness is up to the end of the month, and we hope to have our the last of interaction or engagement next week Friday. But listen, agriculture play a very key role in the productions of food, goods and services to the people. So what happened was shortage of manpower. We know that there are some issues with this whole thing of, no manpower. We got to make it happen. So what happens? Go back again, and well, we cause it to happen. So sometimes, it happened because, well, of the low income rate, probably the situation going on, and you can just name everything step by step. So we want to take a break and come right back, and then we will continue. Okay, so you look at the agricultural sector, you look at the way the agricultural sector is being, cried up, and you see that, well, in the agricultural sector, people are not actually getting the manpower. People are leaving the job, and so in order for the job to be filled, sometime those entrepreneurs, those who are the managers, go out there, the CEOs go out there to see how they can make it happen. So then what happens? It come back again. So the whole thing about trafficking or human trafficking, it has its negative enhances positive. So it either affects the generation, the people who are involved, people who also go through their own different circumstances. But the challenges when it comes to human trafficking, let us understand those challenges and let us understand the indicators. Because as we raise this awareness, it's not only for you and I, it's all about um, the questions about how people that are trafficked uh, come back again, to us. People that traffic because, well, of different reasons. Okay, it could be for economic reason. It could be that the person, experience some uh, violent or domestic violence or crisis or civil war in their country. Like in Liberia, there were vulnerable people. Most of us was vulnerable because we were traveling during the war, and we have to travel because uh, people don't want to stay in a country that is divided. So people travel. So in that case, it was also a time of being vulnerable. So people take advantage of it. And then what happens is that it gets you into trafficking. So trafficking is, especially modern trafficking, is prevalence. Okay. And the indicators are there. You can see the indicators. It's not something that you got to ask a question about it, because I will tell you that if you look at the agriculture sector, those of us who are in the agriculture sector, we find out that many have really lose their life. Some of them have opportunity. They got into the opportunity and they make use of the opportunity. Okay, they make use of the opportunity. How did they make use of the opportunity? They make use of the opportunity because, well, let's say for instance, the person they are vulnerable, they have nothing, and well, they come for a little job. They would have been paying them $15, but we have to pay them 14, or maybe something like 13 or 12. They accept it, even $10 or $9. Why? Because they need to eat, they need to live. So human trafficking has its negative, it has its positive. So it depends on the country that those people that traffic. But again, except you go away with it, it becomes a crime when you are actually collected, or really if people know that you are the trafficker or the perpetrator of human trafficking, then of course you go to jail because it's a crime. So like we're talking about Ajoke, the lady who was the late TV Joshua daughter. So if something happened 10, 15 years ago, and it was fast tracked only because something sparked out, and you came out live to say you used to bring young virgin girls to a person who have died, but you living. So, but then you tell the world that you are a trafficker. You committed a crime. So what happens? On the community engagement, this whole vision is about an initiative that talk about there is no option. Human rights is not optional. If people rights are violated, let agree that they are trafficked. Well, if the rights are violated, that well, they need to have the basic economic sustainability, and they don't have it. What happens to them is that they go hungry. They find a means to eat, like the three missing boys, 1 or 2 years ago. And if you look back and go and ask them if they will come back to see whether they are living, or you ask their mother, they were into a economic crisis. When the nation is facing stagnation or going through a crisis, then of course it affects the generation, it affects the people. So how can our agricultural sector, duty bearers who are responsible to make a level playing field ground, how can they do it in the absence of their duty? That means providing the economic, the job opportunity, making sure investors are actually in the country, and those things that will help the country boost uh, the GDP. So if the GDP exposed and things are happening, people will still leave the country. People will still find means. They want to find other means. Stay. Even people who are educated still want to travel and have some experience. But it's not going to be at the rate, okay, as we see some nations today. So human trafficking as a crime can be prevented. Okay, let it be that probably the people travel to America, right? And well, they traveled to America and got into a relationship, and well, got into the relationship and forgot about their children back home. And then at the end of the day, well, the children back home, everybody back home, the family, the whole family, and then when the situation occurred where now the child went to fish, all they are looking for dinner bread, no parents around. And then what happens in that situation is that that child gets into the hands of maybe someone that were thinking, someone that was that was engaging them, someone that were going after them, and they didn't know that someone were going after them. Now, so human trafficking also is called in the trafficking of person. Now, it has no place in our world as both grieves crime and human rights abuse. It compromises national and economic security, undermines the rule of law, and harms the well-being of the individuals and communities everywhere. So it is a crime of exploitation. So if it is a crime of exploitation, then the perpetrator is going to be held liable. So the duty bearers, who are the president, the judiciary, those different branch of government that is so responsible to enforce and make the law, will be able to make sure that those perpetrators be brought to justice. So that is to prevent, because let's agree that it was not, it's prevalent, or probably you can see that it's happening. People going to with it with all impunity, and there's no law that's just not going the way they should go. The duty bearer is not playing the role. The community and the civil society is not playing the role. So then it will be difficult for us to prevent human trafficking. It will be very difficult. Now, when we talk about rights and responsibilities, rights and responsibilities lies in the rights holders. The responsibility of the government is to provide necessary and basic needs for the people, and then the responsibility for the people is to respond to daily life and do their part in the way that they are not going to be affected. Let's agree that it will provide it, right? And well, somebody stay taking advantage, the inner community, they see what's going on, and they form part. They could be the person that's leading the traffickers into your community. Okay, so sometimes our traffic calls or our perpetrator can be the mother of a child, can be the very family member, can be people who know you, your friend. So the perpetrators are not people that far away. Okay, it could be people that write your teacher. You can name them. It could be your husband, it could be your wife. So there are people that are grown up people who are trafficked into romantic relationships, probably because they promised them something, and they see that this lady is so influential. This guy has everything, so then I think I can love to him and I'll get my daily bread, because of economic constraint, which you can sometimes look at that to say, okay, we got to prosecute this guy, which once is a crime. But the right holder, who is the female or the male, need to be responsible, take responsibility, begin to look at the fact that, okay, why it is true that I love this guy, why it is true that I'm going to this constraint. Let me do my background investigation. Okay, so with this trafficking situation, with this kind of act of trafficking, with this thing that is going on in the world, we cannot stop, trafficking If we who are right holders, talk about right holders, we're talking about all of us, people who are citizens of our country. Okay, we believe that we have the rights, but then we are responsible for the action we take. So like we're saying today, well, okay, our responsibility is to collaborate, work together, do our play our role, make all effort to reach people by all means. Like we said, we are rearranging, right? So when you're rearranging your whatever thing, your position, look at yourself today. Look at where you are in your society. What role are you playing? Are you playing the role of connecting community to community and people to people? Or are you playing a role where you become probably the problem in the community? So with the community engagement, I will tell you the truth. It's about collaboration. And beside collaboration, this is what we have come to the place where we believe that no matter what, the vision must be fulfilled. So again, role, responsibility. So our role as right holder or duty bearers is to provide the services, maybe the education, some of the basic thing, the hints to know some of the awareness that we're creating. So tomorrow in the future, maybe 5 years from now, they're not going to be talking to another person. They're going to be asking, oh yeah, I know the community engagement. I used to see some of these things, but this is an effort. Okay, so one of the things that we need to do as responsible people and people who probably want to work together is to begin to know who you work with. And you're going to know them little by little. But as you work with people, make sure you do everything to convince them about the collaboration, about their responsibility. Because the reason why the word, and listen to this, I'm gonna be coming on the other show next week talking about our failure sometime. And failure actually depends on cooperation, unity, okay, teamwork. So let's agree that we it start from the home. If the two persons come together and decide to raise an awareness about with their children, right? And one of them is raising awareness, the other one is paying light attention. So the children, maybe the one of the kids or the kids, they're watchful. If you see the little girl talking to her father, like if she was talking to somebody. Wow, because she was very bold to him that time. She watched him beating her mother. Can you imagine that? So children learn from that. So what happens? The awareness begins from home. So one person was slacking, one person was abusing the other person. Okay, so like collaboration. One person is saying something, okay, and the other person or other group of people say, let's do it together. When it's time to do it together, probably maybe the other group is not doing it. So what happened? One group want to carry the glory, and the other group want to say, okay, I'm doing everything now. So the other group, they are insignificant. So what happened to our society? And that's why the passion that we have to do what we're doing, despite whatever disappointment in your project, in what you are doing, except you don't have the passion to do it. So there will be some break in. There will be some gaps. Fill in the gaps, like what I'm doing right now. Okay, people that I guess are in this meeting. Okay, but should I wait for the guests? No, I have the thing inside of me. So what happens is continue to do what you are doing, because what happened is that people want to know. So maybe, well, you don't know the next person problem. And when you are doing or creating an awareness in your community, take initiative. Probably maybe there are some issues that you learn for many years, and that issue have been there, and because of the issue, you decided as a person how to raise this awareness, and well, you see that nobody will follow you while you are creating awareness, but you forgot to know that you are creating awareness because you have the interest and you have the passion. and you want to make an effect, you want to make a change in your society. So you followed all these great people of God, or people, what human rights advocates. You saw Martin Luther King, we just celebrated his birthday. So when you begin to look at not the legacy of these people, but you begin to look back and see that you come from this place and you are responsible, you have your role to play in your community, is to raise awareness. You might not be able to raise awareness, probably because probably the people around you can talk and, call your name. Oh, it is this guy, it is this girl that talked about this thing the last time. So I would advise, as we assault, that as we raise awareness, let us raise awareness with conscience. Our motivation, our thoughts, our behavior should be well in unison. In other words, if your child, or probably you guys are together and you speak to them with one accord. Why? Because they are human. Remember that. And they are coming up, they are looking, they are watching. So the way you guys will speak to them, it happens. The same way with civil society. With the experience we have, you can speak to people today. Well, you have a very large probably opportunity to speak to people, and you are talking about issues that maybe concern the community, and you guys agree to do it together. And well, when you look, maybe one person got the money and they go on the other side and say, okay, my man, let little guys, man, let's see whether it's going to work. Or probably maybe look, let's play deaf. Yeah, this thing our forefather did it and they didn't do anything. So why do you think we can do? Better let's share this money. Forget about these insignificant guys, or probably let's forget about this project. Let not raise awareness because we need our money. So the role that we need to play, if we are not playing those roles, I alone, community engagement is just coming up. Okay, 3-4 years. It just on social media is about to be up here doing some great work, but it is not about you. Everybody has their own vision, right? But collaboration, which is our teamwork, makes our sound a very signal to the perpetrator that, oh yeah, this was serious. Okay, so that's why I love collaboration, and that's why collaboration is interesting. Not because of that, but you can even do anything. God have called each person for a reason, and your motivation, the thing that you have inside of you, is not in the next person, but the next person has something that they can deliver that will help the institution or help the problem. Like I said, everyone was created to solve a problem. It could be a little problem, a small problem in the community. So keep doing what you're doing. And sometimes, like we are talking about engagement could be in different terms, but it depends on the person. Let me agree that I'm not in Liberia, okay? And I have an institution in Liberia. Our institution in Liberia have ran for years, right? Probably maybe situation of people that are not trusted, people that are not doing what they're supposed to do or whatever. But they're leaving a mark and they're doing their part. And maybe people are not coordinating together. They only want to do it on their own. So then what happens? Preventing human trafficking is about everybody's business. So the community level, the family, different organization, the Muslim community, the Christian community, probably need to come together to do it together. Why? Because it affects everybody. It affects the community. It affects the family. It affects every sector. So if the duty bearer that is responsible to uphold the laws will say, oh, we gotta with this law, we're not passing it, or we're not we're not ready going to hold this guy responsible, or these people, because they were finding some did a bread for themselves. But against the rights of another person. Okay, so if you exploited another person or a group of people because, well, you wanted something, then of course, the question that comes to my mind and to your mind would be, well, okay, I did it because I wanted money, but you have committed a crime. Like the lady we talk about, she had passed years. Well, what might have motivated her to come out on social media to say, I used to, because she was confessing, or she was trying to set up a kind of trap against a dead man, but not do that. She was pointing back to the spirit of those young girls, or probably to the curses that come upon her, because she said that she used to bring young virgin, to the late TB Joshua. So despite other people were listening to that to think that it is true or lie, the fact remains that she have caused herself to be trapped. And so a lot of people don't understand what it means when you say, I used to bring. Okay, what if it past 10 years? Thank God for the way they're going to go for you, because that is a crime. So human trafficking is a crime and a privilege. You can see it. Our duty bearer, the role of our duty bearer is that the Lord will be to the fullest. There should be no compromise in the Lord. There should be no compromise. Why there should be no compromise? Because let's agree that we have people probably violating the laws. Because the law was violated, the fact that the law was violated means that those laws that have been violated, that means maybe they were not prosecuted. The police don't care. People that are trafficking people from Liberia or into Liberia, and well, the cooperation between border country is not really going smoothly, and so the both government are not cooperating, and so what happens? It's open border. So the duty bearer now that is responsible, the ones that is, let's say, is smuggling the people into the country, or the one that is accepting, both of them is a problem. So it's a bigger situation. So when we look at trafficking, we look at trafficking as a crime, but we also look at some of the trafficking as probably helping another group of people to change their life in a positive form. Let's agree that people from South America, people from different countries, probably around bordering the other side of America, other places, they come in. Some of them come in and, well, take asylum, but they left a country because, well, why they were coming, who know what they were trafficked. And you can see the announcement, people have been trafficked in the bus to come into the country. Why? Because they're looking for daily bread. Okay, but if the perpetrator is arrested, it's a crime. Okay, so there are different ways that people are trafficked into different countries and different places in the world. But in Africa, in certain countries, trafficking not only is not beneficial, right? Because people that traffic into the wrong hands. People are trafficked into the wrong hands. And when you get into the wrong hands or being trafficked into the wrong hands, then what happens to you? You don't understand. You are vulnerable. And you're not going to hold me responsible. Probably somebody will say, you're not going to hold me responsible because I did my part. But I will tell you that we ought the civil society leaders, Anna Dempster, who is actually one of the guys there in Liberia, and all of us, we ought us. Those things that are coming up might have not been coming up. Now, it is because of the cooperation from other civil society groupings coming together with these reports, going together to give some petition to our government. You see, when we petition our government, we are telling our government that the government must do what we want them to do because according to the law, it is our rights. So the right holders' responsibility is to demand government to take action. So let's agree that where people are trafficking in the community, and we can see people coming into our community from different countries of whether Burkina Faso and other places. We don't know why. There's no action taken. Now our responsibility is to make sure to see to make sure, because in that community we don't know why they are coming, and then we have to take responsibility, help the police, because you see, the police should become our friends. They are law enforcement. Yes, sometimes we hide information from the police. Okay, those representing the duty bearers, they are duty bearers. They are the security apparatus. They're the ones that are there to enforce the laws. So what happens if probably somebody comes in conflict with the law? That means, well, that person a trafficker or came into the country, and they were bringing in some substance that was harmful in the community, and the responsibility of the community is to report that person or those people. But what happens? So we all have the responsibility. Okay, it could be that we have been in a country, we have been in a community, and our rights have been violated, probably because we fail to take action. So because human right is not optional, that means whether we do it or not, whether we agreed with our allies or people who are the security apparatus or whatever it is, as long it is a law, it is not optional. So then, if human right is not optional, then of course preventing trafficking would be one of our best options. But the options would be doing it as a team together, and not saying maybe these people are not doing the right thing. Okay, or maybe the community is not ready. Probably putting some time together to fight this thing. Why it is true that government, the duty bearer, that's supposed to be you know enforcing it, serious to enforce it. To no avail. So, as I come to the close of this time, I'm going to reach those who's supposed to be here, but it's not. The more important thing here is that the word must go. And so, I agree with all the doubt that the duty bearers and the right holders have challenges. Yes, those challenges can only be addressed by the duty bearers and not only the right holders. The right holders are looking up to the duty bearers. So the role of the duty bearers is very important, as also the role of the right holders. The right holders need to take responsibility in their communities. Remember that government is not all over the place. The security apparatus are depending on you to give them information that is needed for people who might have been trafficked, or the sign of trafficking that you see. So sometimes people that traffic causing because of domestic violence. We talk about domestic violence almost all the time. So it tied together. So, as we begin to look at those barriers, experience will tell us that many of us, if not all of us, have thoughts that negatively cannot change any situation. So one thing I know, and I'm continuing to say to all of us, those of us who are human rights actors, those of us who want to be really serious about what we are saying, is that we must not just look at the fact that we can do it, maybe for the few, or maybe we can do it for just few people, or maybe let's just forget about this thing. The question today, as I conclude on this wonderful topic today, and I want to thank God for giving me the strength, because all my guests is, oh, I just want to say, well, you are most welcome, and I know that, well, you might be going through some challenges or whatever you decide, but I would say that this is something that we all are in together. And I want us to begin to look at the positive side and buttressing the effort of each other, not because you didn't do it or you didn't have the idea. You are not talented to do it. And the reason why people need to work together to change our society is because despite your influence, or maybe you think that you are more influential or you have everything, but you might not have the technical know-how. You might not have probably the understanding. You can convince people because they think that you're not doing it because of passion. You might be doing it because of business or money only. Why it is true that your business should be separate, or sometimes even your organization can become a business. Okay, that is a different topic. But what my concern is here today is about role, the role of civil society. I play my role, and I just always like to say to myself, I keep playing my role because I know my responsibility. So again, as a visionary, the one who believe that we can drive it together. It's not just if I like to drive it together because I can't do it alone. Why? Because probably maybe something left out. Maybe I forgot to talk about something, or probably maybe you got the money, I got the vision, or you got the money, I can write the proposals. Yeah, I have the money, you can write. So it's very, very easy. So again, we might be constructive in our engagement. And again, this community engagement is about reaching every level of people. I was just with since we are probably with the greater higher. It was a wonderful time. Every one of us have a responsibility. Okay, and everybody playing their role. Every institutions. So I play my role, and my role here is to collaborate, to hear your voice about what it means, in the agricultural sector when people are trafficked. That's what we want to do. Okay, what it means when people are trafficked, Janet, you are in human trafficking, and what it means, in your community, what you think. So says you're in Ghana now. What's going on? What do you think about human trafficking, and just like that. So then those views and what people need to hear from our experience help us to develop strategic plan in order to go towards our awareness in the prevention of human trafficking. So again, as we raise awareness, I want us to be very clear. And I want to be very clear here that we need to do it together, yes, but we need to also understand why we are doing it partially, or why we are doing it individually. We must understand that unity means, okay, let's raise awareness simultaneously in our different organizations or in our different communities, our different countries. So to prevent human trafficking, as we continue to say, is everybody business. So looking at cross sections of some of the things that we did in the past years, looking at like I was talking about CALM, and we're talking about other institutions that we have buttressed the efforts and to see to play our role. And again, like I said, if you look back and see my track record, and I was telling somebody yesterday that, the reason why they wanted me to get into something to be the head, and I said, I'm so occupied right now, and I don't want to conflict. I don't want to confuse myself with some other stuff. So we say, I really want your service, but I said to that person, I can still give my service in this way. Okay, because that's who I am. So, but what am I saying this? I'm saying this to say that it's bulky stuff. It's like what I'm doing right now as a consultant, I want you to understand you can also reach me, and we're going to be organizing some stuff when it comes to our virtual meetings. We different group of people. We're going to be meeting in person. We are establishing. We want to reach people that will be constructive in their thoughts in how we can develop a system. Now, it's not about me. It's about the vision. It's about where God is taking us. So again, I want us to say it doesn't matter where you live. It doesn't matter who you think you are. It doesn't matter. Probably people may look down on you. I want to encourage you as we motivate people, the role we play in our society. The duty bearer has its own part to play, yes, but we are responsible to let our voice be heard. Even if you are saying, well, okay, remember, human trafficking is a crime. That's one word. It go to somebody in Facebook. Thank God for social media. And it is because of social media. Again, I'm here and I'm voicing up using the social media space and phrase to go out there and talk about the preventions of human trafficking this month. And I want to encourage those of us who have probably been motivated, wherever you are. I want to motivate you. And I always tell people, if I hate anybody in the future or probably in the past, well, okay, I'm sorry, but this is who I am. I'm going ahead with what God has called me to do. You're going to give your story. I'm going to give my story. And I don't know who is ahead of me that looking at me and that want to be a blessing to what I'm doing. So I'm not concerned about whether people will impart or will play a role in what you're doing. No, all we need to do is to make our own vision clear, write it on the walls. So, and let them know that you are not a passive-minded person. You're just not someone who thinking about negativity. Okay, that means you are not thinking about the positive. That means you are not progressing. No, I believe in progression, and I want to encourage those of us who believe in themselves. Because if you believe in yourself, probably look at the next person. You don't have to believe in them. You can also understand that the only way we can prevent human trafficking, to all of us, so civil society leaders and people who feel constructive in their engagement. And we are here today. Tomorrow we're going to be, oh yeah, we used to be friends. Oh yeah, I can remember. Some of them will be writing about me, but I got to keep the ball rolling. It's not about what they will write about me. Somebody will be writing about you and not the people who you have been associated with because of your legacy. It's not because of them. Martin Luther King has a lot of associates, but when Martin Luther King name was ready to be holiday. So why am I saying this? I'm saying this to say that if you have the passion, don't look up in an individual in your works you do, in your pursuits, in your perseverance, in your patience, in everything you do in society. Why? Because to prevent human trafficking is everybody's business. So somebody can be playing a little role, but they are playing the beginning of the impact. So somebody might be doing something you think you want to overlook them, but they're making an impact. So everything comes together and make it a bigger impact in our society. So again, I want to thank God for you guys, man. And those of us who are not able, all of us who are not able, we have 3% who are not able to be here. I want to say, well, I don't know whether you are finding challenges. I'm not sure that you have any challenges with coming in because I'm on top of it and I'm here. And very simple. It's not a problem. If there were any challenge, I know you are Richmond, and I hope that you will take note to reach me earlier before even this time. So I want to say to all of us, this is not about me. And I tell people, man, this is not about me. And let us not do it like if to say, well, okay, I just want to test this guy or this person, but I'm not going to be there. Well, don't waste your time. Don't waste your time because like I said, I can sit here for the next 30 or 2 hours talking about something and make no mistakes. But I alone cannot do it. That's why I invite people to talk about these issues, to have their input. So why am I saying this? I'm saying this because we got to understand that, everything we do here, we do it constructively and we do it with plan. So except it was not planned for 1 week or 2 weeks, or maybe it was not discussed, you didn't agree, then of course. But the role that we playing, I want to encourage us. I understand your situation. It's the snow this year. I'm the snow this year. But I'm here because the snow is not in the room. The snow is not in the office. The snow is not in the auditorium. The snow is outside. And we have the heat come, and you can still make whatever you're supposed to do. Even if the snow was outside, you're not going to have this life outside. So I will say to you, man, I want to appreciate you guys and say that, well, it is well with whatever today. And I think it was a very constructive meeting. And the meeting is about engaging our communities. People often may say, oh, I listened to this person today. Okay, so I want to encourage us to walk according to our vision. We might have vision, but our vision is taking us somewhere. And I would tell people, well, the only thing I fear is God. Why? Because that's the only person that can say to me, Jarvis, I'm not going to allow you to do this today. Even if I was in the place like for 2 days, except I don't have a phone. Why? Because I have the passion. Nothing can, you see, and I want to encourage us as a close, man, nothing should stop you. If your dream didn't scare you, scare your dream. And I want to motivate you guys and say to us, we can do it together. We can press on it. We can see that our society needs us, and accept, and we can begin to play our role in our society. Then, of course, we will be saying to ourselves, well, well done. Some of us will be saying, well done. And some of us will be saying, okay, I played my role, but I was not focused. And I hope you're not the person. I hope that you will understand that you have a role to play. And, until we can see again, God